Guys, welcome to Multitaskr. I'm Joe Frausto, CEO and founder of Multitaskr, a marketplace where we unite homeowners and the best service providers in your area. But today I want to welcome you to our podcast. It's called the Home Solutions Network Podcast, and we're going to be introducing the top service providers, clients that have used our marketplace, and some of the people that direct this company, and very exciting stories. The goal of the podcast is to save you time, save you money, give you insights, give you tips, and create value for your home. So come on in and let's check it out. Hey guys, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us at Multitaskr Home Solutions Network Podcast. And today I have an exciting podcast talking about renewable energy and how to save some money, right? So we have Demetrio and Liz. Demetrio is our Director of Solar and Business Development, and Liz is in charge of Sales Development and all the training with all the new people that are joining us to join this wonderful cause that we're building here. So I'm going to start off with Demetrio because we've known the longest. Demetrio, when you started with us, what was the biggest thing that caught your attention about Multitaskr?
So I was coming from a specifically solar background. I did not know any of the other verticals that we have now here at Multitaskr. So creating a solution, and I was also looking at it more as a sales rep point of view, that you can actually offer your customer multiple options or multiple products, because coming from a solar background, that's you touch one customer and that's it. You're never going to sell solar again, or probably not, because solar panels last for over 25 years. So that's what really caught my eye, and having the opportunity to engage with the customers and offer them multiple solutions was kind of like one of the big things. And then getting to know you and how you had your vision for the company and for consumers specifically, that was one of the first things that really brought me on board.
Right. Well, I met Demetrio a couple of years ago, and he was wearing a vest that had a logo of a pretty large solar company, and we started talking, and I could see he was super passionate about it. And when I started building this company, our homeowners were asking me a lot about solar. And I didn't know much about it. I've been in the finance industry and real estate for the past 17 years, but solar has been something that a lot of homeowners talk to me about, but I really didn't know much of it. So when I meet Demetrio and I saw how passionate he was about it, I felt that I can share him what my vision was, and we can kind of marry that together and bring all that passion to you guys, to the homeowners, and really take advantage of the knowledge that he brings to the table. On the other end, he introduced me to Liz. And when I met Liz, I think the same thing. I saw how passionate she was. And I think that's one of the biggest things that you guys will keep seeing in all the podcasts is the team members are super passionate about what they each bring to the table for Multitaskr. So Liz, what caught your attention about Multitaskr when we talked and we met the first time?
I thought it was really interesting the way that you created a comprehensive solution for homeowners. I've always been passionate about solar because I like to be making a change. I've always been a huge environmentalist. But in my dealings with a lot of consumers, you see how complicated it is to be a homeowner. You have appliances, you have plumbing, you have landscaping issues, sprinklers. And every time you need to find a solution for one of those things, that process becomes complicated. So it was really interesting to me that you found a way to not only simplify that process, but also make it enjoyable for a customer and even help them with solutions that they might not even know are even available. And also show them a way to accomplish the things they don't just need to do for their home, but also show them how easy it is to do some of the things that they've just been wanting to do for their home as well. So that's what got me excited.
Well, I'm excited that both of you are part of this project, and it's been great. It's been a lot of, it feels like it's been so short. It's just gone by so fast, but we have a long way to go still, but I'm super excited to have you both being part of this and keep helping the homeowners one home at a time and helping us out. But can you share with homeowners a little bit about your background, and just so they know, what value you're bringing to the table and how they can take advantage of all your knowledge? Demetrio, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into solar?
So when I initially got into solar, I had just kind of like been between laid off and what do you want to call it? But no,
Vacation.
they shut down completely my sector. I used to do trade finance specifically for the oil sector in Mexico. So it was loans for Mexican companies coming from the U.S. Export-Import Bank, and that completely shut down. So I started looking into a new career, and I was looking for something that's going to be in the renewables, completely different to what I was doing, but in the renewables, and something that had lasting growth. So I looked into solar, and then I was looking specifically for a really good company to work for and to have a successful growth career. And I found Sunrun. That's where I met Liz. I started from bottom and then just kept on growing and worked with Liz for about almost 5 years, 4.5 years within Sunrun. And then that's when we transitioned into Multitaskr.
Great, great. And Liz, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your career?
Yeah, well, the past 9 years has been in solar. Pretty much have worn every hat in the sales organization, started knocking on doors. Sorry, everybody, for those of you who've met me at your door. I've done sales training. I've been a consultant, so I've sat across the table from a lot of homeowners, so I understand what sort of problems they're facing, what sort of solutions they're looking for. And I've done about 4.5 years of sales management training. After my career with the consumers, I then started working for a manufacturer that actually makes solar panels, not just standard modules, but also premium modules as well. And now here I am with you.
Great, great. So solar industry has been it's been a hot industry. It's developing really, really fast. Especially here in California. I don't know if homeowners are aware, but it's a new law. Every time you build a new construction in California now, you have to have solar panels. So it's been a growing industry. There's still a lot of room to grow in the industry, but there's a lot of people intrigued on it and a lot of people that want to jump into the solar industry to work for the solar industry. So as you've been in the industry for years now, what would you recommend to other people that want to join the solar industry? What do you think? What is a pro and what is a con about the industry as a sales rep, you could say?
Oh, yeah. The good, bad, and the ugly. The good is you have a lot of pride in how you earn a paycheck. And that's always been something that's been really important to me. Every time you make a sale, right, you're providing a solution to somebody who either has a problem that they're hyper aware of or has a problem that you just made them aware of. There's a tangible impact to what you're doing. And I've seen a lot of people see a lot of value in providing that to folks. Driving around the neighborhood and seeing the solar panels that you helped somebody put on their house, it's a really cool feeling. The ugly is the reason why we call it the solar coaster. That's, for those who have been in the industry, that's what we call it. It's the solar coaster. A lot of ups, there's also a lot of downs. Things are constantly changing, and it's not always something that you can control. Maybe your local utility has a rate change, or your state has a change in their legislation. It can throw a wrench into your entire business model or your go-to-market strategy. So you have to constantly be adaptable, or be adapting to new curveballs. And you have to keep pushing. And you have to anticipate that there's going to be a roadblock coming up soon, and to never get too comfortable.
Yeah, specifically on the solar vertical, we have to be careful and educate the homeowner in regards to the solar option that they're going to, because with solar, there's so many options in the market, so many loans, so many power purchase agreements or leases, that we have to be very educating to the customer in what's going to benefit in the long term and what are their future needs in regards to home improvement and what they're looking for in long term, so we can offer the correct solution to them. So we don't want them to get into a loan that they're not going to be able to transfer, or they're not going to be able to subordinate when they're going into the refi process. So we really want to be aware of what their future needs are, so we can protect them in the future for them to be really able to complete their dream home or their solutions.
Yeah, anytime anybody wants to come and work for us selling, we don't really think of them as sales reps, because they're not. We want to make sure that we're bringing you guys value. And with Demetrio and with Liz kind of handling that end on the renewable energy side, I feel pretty confident that that culture that we're building is being educated to all the other people that are coming through this door to either sell with us or to come and get service from us, right? And so I think the solar industry is a really good industry. It can save you energy, but on top of that, you're actually helping out the world. You're helping out Earth, and I think that some people that have gone in the industry are looking at it like as a paycheck and not really as something that the homeowner can truly take advantage of. So that's one of the things that we're very proud of, is that we're always looking at it from your perspective, and we're trying to get in your shoes and really trying to know how this can benefit you or not benefit you. And if it's not right for you, and if it's not the right fit, we just don't sell you solar if it doesn't make sense,
Yeah, I mean, it's been bad-mouthed throughout the industry. There's a lot of, when you're talking about the homeowner, there's a lot of real estate transactions that involve it. So you have to fit the correct product for that home. If they're thinking of selling in the next 3 to 5 years, they're thinking of refinancing their home, you have to know what solar option they're going to go with that's going to fit their needs, because there's so many options out there. That's what we do. We do our inquiry process and really get to know their needs and present the solution that's going to benefit them, not just today and not just to us as a company, but in the future, because we want to come back and offer them all our multiple services. And that's the great thing about being a home solutions expert. You just don't get one. I mean, most of our home solutions experts, as you know, are going in a customer home and coming out with not just one solution, but 3 to 4 solutions at once. And we can't do that if we don't provide the exact correct solution. Because if you don't do one good job, you're not going to be able to get the other solutions offered to the customer. Or if you have one customer that has a bad experience in one of our departments in one of our industries, they're not going to go with us in the future. So we have to make sure that we do the proper education in regards to us, educating ourselves of what the customer needs, and then providing the correct solution.
And what do you think, Liz? What do you think is the most important thing of that a homeowner should have solar panels?
Why they should have solar panels? You know, there's a lot of reasons why people go solar. So sometimes that's a hard answer to, or a hard question to answer. There's not a lot of reasons not to go solar, I think would be my answer. There just aren't a lot of reasons not to go solar, whether you're doing it for environmental reasons, whether you're looking at it for investment, for an investment opportunity. There's no reason to pay more money for something that is objectively worse for you, your community, and the planet. If you're a environmentalist, I think the answer is pretty simple. You're revolutionizing a 100-year-old industry that's done nothing but cause a lot of pollution and harm to our environment. So that's really cool, right? And that's really admirable. You're making a better future for future generations, whether you have kids or grandkids, or whether you're just a human. You know, that's also important. And also, there's a lot of volatility right now. Well, not just right now, always. There's so much volatility with your current utility provider. Not only are the rates always increasing, but they're changing. There hasn't been a single homeowner that I've ever met that can explain to me everything that's written in their bill. I've been working in solar for 9 years. I can't explain every single thing that's in my
I can't explain it either.
that's in my electricity bill. And it's purposely meant to be confusing. So when you go solar, it's straightforward, it's cleaner, it's more affordable, it's predictable, and every single year your avoided costs grow so that you're getting a sweeter deal as time goes on.
Yeah, savings always increase as time goes by.
And I think one of the complicated things with solar that confuses people are the payment structures on it, how you pay and how, if there's tax credit or not and all that. Can you explain a little bit on that, Demetrio?
Yeah, so there's basically, I would say, 2 different types of options, right? One, it's the ownership, where you as a homeowner own the system and access a investment tax credit. That's a 1 to $1 ratio on your federal income. I'm not a tax consultant, so I always refer everyone to their tax consultant. But they basically can, this year they can qualify for 26% of investment tax credit on solar. And then there's the power purchase agreement, or lease, how it's known in the market. And most leases are going to either have locked-in payments, or the most common is a 2.9% annual escalator that's going to increase over time, 2.9%. They're both ways you're going to save money. There's a lot of people that qualify for the ownership, and there's a lot of people that don't. So the power purchase agreement or lease is going to be their go-to option. And we, as home solutions experts, have to do the proper analysis and recommend what's going to benefit most for the customer. But most of them, either you have a locked-in payment for a term, so it's a 20-year, 12-year, 15-year term on ownership, or you have a 20 to 25-year lease or power purchase agreement that it's going to be locked in. It's predictable. You already know exactly what you're going to pay. That 2.9% can be explained real easy. It's just inflation in the US is over 3.3% annually. So it's not the same $100 today than $100 in 10 years. That's why they keep it in there. Mm-hmm. But you're going to lower your bill. Even on both options, you're looking at almost 50% savings.
And that's the most important piece, is there are a ton of options on how to go solar. Mm-hmm. Every single option out there, every single one is more simple, it's more cost effective, and it's going to be stabilized.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why it's so important to have a trusted home advisor, because they can guide you through it. In the mortgage industry, for example, you have various loan officers that can manage various type of mortgage instruments, which can explain to you a 10 or a 5 or a 30 or an interest only or variable. And I think with solar, it's growing so much that there's different debt instruments that are coming out. Yeah. And so I think it's very important to be able to get educated on that. And we can definitely educate you and all that and help you out with all that. Do you think there's a particular preference between lease or purchase?
There's definitely trends when you look at the market. There have been times where power purchasing agreements have been much more popular than ownership options. And so what I would remind consumers is, again, just find somebody that you trust so that they can walk you through the process and they can figure out what's most important to you, what you're really looking for, and they'll be able to recommend the best solution. I wouldn't worry about the trends because they're constantly changing.
And every homeowner not just qualifies for a different product, but their future needs and their future interest in their home we're gonna have to provide the solution for them. For a company, as looking at a company perspective, we have to recommend the perfect solution. If you go ownership or lease, it's the same thing to the company.
It's tailored to them, right? Whatever benefits them the most. And that's always been the way we look at it, and we will keep looking at it, is we tailor solutions based on what benefits you, what benefits your household, and what benefits your pocket at the end of the day. If someone wants to get solar, what do you think is the key question or questions that they should ask their solar representative before they sign?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I mean, in a home solutions expert perspective, you have to ask, what's your future needs for your home? What's your plans? Is this your long-term home? Is this your short-term home? Are you gonna leave this home as a rental?
But let's say they're not working with us. Let's say they're working with anybody else. What should they look out for? What should the homeowner ask that solar representative from that company? Hopefully they're working with us, and then that way you don't have to ask all those things. We're gonna help you out no matter what. But let's say they're not, right?
I mean, you have to look for a reputable company with a proven track record, years in solar, not just your company that's looking into getting into it or has been doing it for a couple of years. That's what I recommend. There's really good companies and really bad companies, so it's how they want to rate their solar provider at the end of the day.
I'm going to answer this in reverse. What are the common reasons why customers have a bad experience with solar? And I think that's bad expectation setting. Mm-hmm. So I think that you need to make sure that you ask the consultant what you're really looking at, right? Be wary of people who tell you, oh, it's so simple, it's so easy, we're the best, we're the greatest. You want somebody who's going to tell you what the process is going to look like in a straightforward way. Are they asking you where you want your equipment? Are they asking you if any of your roof planes are off limits? Are they asking you if efficiency or aesthetics are more important. It's not just the questions for you to ask your consultant, but you also need to be mindful of the questions that the consultant's asking you. What are they really looking for? Are they looking to sign you up? Or are they really looking to find a solution that's going to be the best fit for you? Because this is going to be on your roof for 25 years at a minimum. And it's something that you're going to have to live with for a long time. So do it right the first time.
I think it's easily can be, there's a lot of misconception, right? Because I hear it from homeowners where they go, oh, so-and-so came over to my door and they told me I don't have to pay anything and it's free. And I think that's a way that a lot of salespeople try to sell, but it's not the truth, right? So make sure that whoever is selling you solar that truly cares and that truly asks the right questions, right? Like, why do you want solar and what is the need for it? And are you just trying to save money? Do you, like Liz said, do you care how it looks? So there's many factors behind it. Definitely, if you come with us, we're always going to ask you those questions to make sure we're giving you the right solution. But if you do not work with us for whatever reason, or you just didn't know about us and you're in another state that we're not servicing yet, just ask the right questions, make sure that they answer and that they truly care for you and they're not just looking at you to just sell you a solar panel. So talking about solar, renewable energy is not just solar, right? There's other items and there's a lot of stuff that keep coming up. What is one thing that you think people or homeowners should look at too, besides solar panels, that they can save money on or they can help out, Earth?
That's an easy one. Hands down, look at a grid-tied battery storage component. And really what that allows you to do is you're going to be generating clean power with your solar system, but you don't always get to dictate when you're going to be selling your surplus energy back to the grid or back to your utility provider. What a battery backup storage solution offers you is the ability to store that power and use it or sell it back to the utility whenever it's most advantageous for you. So that works really well with time of use rates that are becoming really common with a lot of the utilities here in California, and it's going to be sweeping across the United States because that's the trend that usually happens. But what is happening with a lot of solar customers right now is they're generating all this solar energy, and then as soon as the solar panels start to go to sleep, they get hit with these really high rates from the utility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so the battery backup solution allows you to essentially flip the script and sell it to them during the expensive rates and then store it during the less expensive rates. It's called arbitrage. Oh, wow. And then another big thing that folks are starting to realize is, there's a lot of public safety power shutoffs where they're having what's called brownouts, where the utility is actually shutting off power to a lot of communities for safety reasons. And also because, like we mentioned, the grid's 118 years old. It's crumbling apart. And it's gonna cost billions and billions of dollars for these utility providers to not only restructure the grid and bring it up to code, but it's also going to take years and years and years. So in the meantime, homeowners are stuck with power safety shutoffs. They're stuck with high and volatile rates. And adding a battery component to your solar solution is going to give you a more complete a complete solution that gives you more control of your power.
And there's also in California the Solar Generation Incentive Program. It's called SCHIP. That also is another additional kind of like a tax credit.
I can't forget that.
to your battery. So in certain parts of California, specifically more around the fire zones, you can actually get additional incentives for those batteries. So the cost of the battery goes really, really down.
And can you add those batteries to any solar system you already have?
You don't even need a solar system.
Really?
You can just put a battery on your house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the state of California, if you are in certain fire zones, because again, a lot of this comes back to safety. If you are in some of these fire zones, the state will pay for it.
How does a battery work if you don't have solar panels?
Right. What you do is you would charge it from the grid.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
let's say around midnight, when it's the cheapest cost for your power, you charge your battery. And then the next day, when those super high rates kick in, instead of buying those high rates from the utility, you just take the energy out of your battery that was stored with the cheap energy.
That's awesome. Great. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you know.
Great. So I hope we're doing that to homeowners. Are we guiding them on getting batteries?
Yes, we're actually doing one probably next week in
Great.
Ramona.
Awesome. So what is the best piece of advice you think you can offer to a homeowner? Not just solar, but like anything that has to do with renewable energy to save money, or just bringing value to your home with a piece of equipment. Because my understanding is solar panels can also bring value to the home, just because if you do it right, it's saving you money. So, but what piece of advice can you recommend homeowners? What would you say, Liz?
I would say that you need to look at the big picture. I can't stress this enough. These solar panels and this energy solution is going to be on your home for 25 years, maybe 35 years or more. So don't get too caught up with today's rates or what you're going to save today or really anything that's going on today, because 2 years from now, all of that will be irrelevant. So make sure you're doing it right the first time. Don't go with the cheapest solution. I've seen this happen so many times, and it's easy to do because you can talk to a customer who's looking at Multitaskr, and they'll tell you, "Hey, I could go with Multitaskr, or I can save $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and go with this other company," and it's really short-sighted. And what that's almost always results in is extra cost down the line. And so you don't want to just look at the upfront cost, but you want to think about the long-term costs. Your home is usually your largest, if not one of your largest assets. So don't go cheap. Do it right the first time, and get a company that's going to stand behind you and use quality equipment and set the right expectations.
What do you say, Demetrio?
I mean, Liz put it in really, really good words, but and get educated and go with a consultant that's really, really worried about your future needs and what you have planned for your home in the future. Make sure that he is able to answer every single question. Look into the different options. There's so many options in the market, but you have to look into what's really the best option for you and your family and your home. So don't stick to like a one proposal type of thing. Just look for, really educate yourself. And through the home solutions expert with us, I'm pretty sure they're all super educated. They can relay not just your best short-term solution, but long-term. Like Liz said, it's not something about keeping it or making it go up on your roof as soon as possible and savings right now. It's savings long-term because it's going to be up on your roof. You want to make sure that those penetrations are done correctly, that there's not going to be any roofing issue, because you save $2,000 today, but if there's any roof leaks, anything that goes bad with your roof, it's more expensive to replace your roof, to replace the damage that would be cost in the interior of your home, than what you're going to be saving right now, just because saving $1,000, $2,000.
There are so many corners that you can cut to shave thousands of dollars off of the upfront costs. Just don't be tricked by that.
You get what you pay for.
You do.
Right?
You really do.
Especially when it comes to your home, you should not go cheap. You should be smart. And there's ways to not spend a lot of money, but it makes sense to spend it in a smart way, right? So we're definitely here to help you out on that. And any other questions you guys have for renewable energy, solars, anything along those lines, please feel free to reach out to us, and Demi or Liz will definitely answer that for you guys. Hey guys, thank you for joining Multitaskr's Home Solution Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our next podcasts. Remember, every single podcast, we're going to give you different advice on how to save time, how to save money, and how to create value. Check us out at gomultitaskr.com. Click subscribe.